Hey guys, welcome back to Hot Roster today. One final time, Gary and Cam still with you now. Talking some NHL, the shootout card available to you tonight on HotRoster.com. One of 3 cards, Cam, you can play for hockey tonight. There are 9 games, so obviously plenty of juicy matchups to go around. And we'll break down one of 2 guys we've talked a lot about on this show so far. Vladimir Tarasenko against Max Pacioretty. There is no line in this contest as of yet. Tarasenko gets Detroit, Pacioretty gets Tampa Bay, and a matchup of behemoths so far this season, Cam. Only 1 loss between Montreal and Tampa Bay combined. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday with Shea Weber and people of that ilk, but at some point you almost got to feel like they're just not going to win a game. And at that point, the plus-minus isn't going to be there because Pacioretty, I mean, Montreal is 3rd in the NHL in goals so far this season. Patches has 1. So he's not exactly gotten off to the great start we're used to seeing.
He's got the 6 points in the 7 games, and he's a +6, so he's doing all the other little things right?
Like, I'm worried the plus-minus is carrying him. I feel like he's got to score some goals. Also, not shooting like we're used to either.
Another situation, Gary, you bring up some great points, but Tarasenko, too, he's got 8 points in 7 games. He's a +4. He does everything. If you look at the statistics, more power play time, he gets a little bit more ice time. You talk about it. And the thing about St. Louis is, Montreal's on a back-to-back. They went into Long Island and beat the Islanders with a backup goaltender last night. Now you're playing Tampa Bay. Not as a good matchup. St. Louis, on the other hand, they could score with anybody. Tarasenko has been money in the bank for me and Thorne all year. Every time we take him, he seems to win. I'm going with Tarasenko again. Why not? The guy's been stellar.
5.29 average fantasy points per night on Hot Roster. So he's getting it done right now. I feel like I'm with him. I can't go against Tarasenko. 33 shots.
Shots in 7 games, almost 5 a game, Gary. So you'll get you the points and the shots.
It'll be there with the shots. And like I said, Pacioretty just hasn't looked all that good, even though the Habs have looked fantastic over that span. Logan Couture against Claude Giroux. Talking about guys who haven't gotten off to the best start so far this season. Logan Couture not exactly doing much. Just 1 point in his last 4 games. However, Cam, the interesting thing about this particular matchup, Couture gets Columbus. They've given up 34.2 shots per game. That is 2nd most in the NHL to only Arizona, who Claude Giroux draws tonight, 34.5 shots per game. So some wide open hockey on tap tonight. Which one of these guys gets it done?
The thing is, on Hot Roster, Gary, it's those power play points, and Claude Giroux, he's got 5 power play points. We talk about goose egg for goals, but 8 helpers. But you get the bonus for the points, right?
8 helpers,
So the guy's, he's been fantastic. As for Logan Couture, my buddy brings up a great point. This guy's very streaky. He'll get you a couple points and then nothing, and that's the way he's been playing right now. Logan Couture, he's ice cold, but I got to go with Giroux. He's a guy in a better matchup. I think the matchup favors him, and he's a guy that does all the little things. Giroux.
I mean, he's on a cold streak right now. Giroux's got a point in 6 straight games, as you mentioned, like the 8 assists, the NHL leading 8 assists at this point.
Other than his opener, he's getting a point in every game. So go with Giroux.
He's a creator. He's on that top line there in Philadelphia, a pretty formidable top line. I'm going to go with Giroux as well in that matchup. Both are pretty good matchups, though, for those guys. Let's go to some defensemen now. Tired about talking about forwards. Dustin Byfuglien against Chris Letang. Byfuglien gets Dallas. Letang gets the Islanders, also on a back-to-back. They were playing Montreal last night. Pittsburgh, I know Crosby just got back, but Pittsburgh has not been putting up a lot of points so far this season. But if there's been a team that's been worse at scoring goals than Pittsburgh, it's been Winnipeg, specifically on the power play. Their power play has been abysmal so far this season. As you mentioned, those bonus points for the power play goals, those are nice to have, and Byfuglien's just not doing it so far.
When you look at these 2 players, you think of underachieving guys. At the start, Byfuglien has no goals, and he's got only 4 assists. And Letang, who's an offensive juggernaut, has only 2 points. The situation, though, is Letang is a guy, 16 shots in 4 games. He's going to continue to move upward on that trend. He's a guy that can do it all, especially when healthy. He's getting 3.23 on the power play time. But the thing about Byfuglien is he gets even almost a minute more, Gary. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to tell you this. I am down with Chris Letang being one of the league's best. Pittsburgh's, Garian said it, Pittsburgh's not scoring. This is a guy that's going to explode. A very good situation tonight. Even though the numbers say Byfuglien, I'm going to go with Letang tonight.
I think I'm going to side with Byfuglien a little bit. Like you're saying, it's a tight matchup. These guys haven't exactly produced so far this season, but the one thing that stuck out to me was that, not to say Letang doesn't play a lot of minutes. This guy logs a lot of time on the ice, but Byfuglien,
almost 30
4
minutes.
of the last 5 games, he's played over 30 minutes. Like, if this guy's just not going to leave the ice, I think I got to go with that, at some point. And also, Chris Letang, there's concerns about his health, too. So right now, I feel like I'm going to go with Byfuglien. You have to watch that matchup, obviously, if Letang does not dress. So check HotRoster.com for the updates on that one. Let's get some over-unders, Cam, because those are always fun on the NHL card as well. Brent Burns.
Excellent.
Over under 4 points. Burns has been on absolute fire so far this season. And we always say, Cam, the one thing we like the most about HotRoster is how giving they are with the fantasy points to shots. Leads the league with 36 shots. I mean, I'm having a hard time not seeing the over here.
I didn't take a physics or calculus course, but 36 divided by 7 over 5, that's what he's doing per game, right, Gary? And the thing about him, he does everything too. Major points on the power play. He plays minutes. Burns does everything right. I'm looking at this on HotRoster saying, you HotRoster execs, do you know me and something Thorne don't know? Because I would have set the over-under probably about 5.5, but you know what? Burns plays more like a forward, not a defenseman. Keep climbing. Over.
He does. He hasn't scored in his last 2 games, so maybe that's why this number's a little low. But 9 points in those first couple. Also, San Jose, the biggest favorite on the board tonight, according to Vegas. They are minus 200. Like, I think they're going to score some goals in this contest.
Columbus too.
And that means that Brent Burns, exactly. This is an offensive haven right now for San Jose. I think Burns is part of it. Go over the number. Before we get out of here, Cam, Jake Allen. At our very set in stone 4.5 points for a goaltender over under. This seems to always come down to, again, who's going to win this game. Do you have confidence that the Blues will win this game against Detroit? I will say, if you're banking on the fact that Allen can make enough saves to kind of recoup a possible loss, of the 15 goalies with 5+ starts so far this season, Allen has the fewest saves at 103. The Blues do just not allow opposing teams to take shots.
You're right, though, but you brought up the most important thing. Who's going to win the hockey game? And I got to believe that the St. Louis Blues against Detroit will win a 3-2 type game. We're not going to see a lot of offense, and I could see Jake Allen. Yeah, he might get his 27 saves in the win, and that's good enough to get over the number.
You know what?
You're going under? You like the Red Wings?
He's got to allow less than 2 goals because you get the 2 points for the win. If he gets the 2 goals, that's off the board.
Detroit's not scoring.
He's just not going to make enough saves to recoup that. You know what? I'm going to go with the under on this one. Agree to disagree, Cam.
Yeah, we got to disagree on something.
We got to disagree on something. For Cam Stewart, I'm Gary and Thorne. That was Hot Roster today. We'll check you out tomorrow.